So in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, it's easy to feel disconnected from ourselves, from a sense of peace, and from something greater. But here's the good news. Spiritual wellness isn't about escaping life necessarily. It's about finding stillness and connection within it, despite all the craziness that's going on in our world. In this video, I'm going to share some very simple daily habits that can help you stay spiritually grounded and aligned, even during the most chaotic or hectic days. So whether you're just starting your journey or you're looking to reconnect, these practices are very simple, very accessible, and deeply nourishing to your spiritual progress. So let's start with a simple question. What exactly is spiritual wellness? Spiritual wellness to me is like the ongoing practice of simply connecting to your inner self and something greater than you. So it's about feeling a sense of peace, purpose, clarity, and alignment in your everyday life. So this is really about being in tune with your values, your energy, your intuition, and the flow of life itself. So when you really spend time to cultivate your spiritual wellness and growth, everything else, your mindset, your emotions, your relationships, they all begin to shift in harmony. So here now are 7 very simple yet powerful techniques and habits you can implement in your life for your spiritual wellness. So the first is some kind of a morning practice or a morning routine. And this can take all different forms. It could be a morning meditation routine, just a few moments in the morning to sit and meditate in silence. It could be a morning gratitude routine, just sitting down for a moment after you wake up and just thinking of all the things you're grateful for. But it's all about starting your day intentionally. So even if it's just 5 minutes, before you check your phone, before you get ready for work, before you dive into the day, just take a moment to sort of be and breathe and connect with your higher self. So again, you can sit in silence, you can meditate, you can have some kind of a gratitude journal where you write down all the things you're grateful for, but something to just bring yourself back to the moment and set in a way the stage for the rest of the day. So another thing you can do in your life is implement some kind of a journaling or self-reflection time during your day. So just get a notebook and maybe once a day sit down, and it can be like a really special and personal and even sacred moment that you have, before or after the craziness of the day, to just sit down and write down, like, what are your goals and what are you working on? What are some of the struggles that you have? Just taking a moment to sit down and clarify certain things that are going on in your life. I've found that writing can be such a powerful experience. It sounds silly in a way, like we know what's on our mind, but there's something about the act of writing something down, like old school pen and paper. You can type it out if you want to, but I just find that like pen and paper, something about writing something down, it has such an incredible effect. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a really powerful tool. Another very powerful thing you can do is just find time during the day to connect with nature. So nature really grounds us, and whether it's walking barefoot outside or just going to a park and having your lunch, outside in the park, or just breathing in the fresh air and getting outside and getting some exercise. Maybe you go for a run or do your workout outside. Just being in nature reminds us that we're part of something bigger, and it really helps to calm down your system. So try to get at least a few moments of nature each day. Again, it can be as simple as going out to the park, maybe having your lunch outside if you can, going for a walk, but it makes a big difference. Another thing that's very powerful, and I talk about this a lot on my channel, is simply meditation. So meditation really helps you slow down, calm your mind, reconnect, and listen. So it's not about stopping your thoughts, it's about observing them and then coming back to the present moment and coming back to your center. So I would encourage you, if you don't have a meditation practice, then start one now. It's so incredibly simple and so powerful. And don't overthink it. Just maybe start with a few minutes, sit down, and maybe 5 minutes is your goal. Set a timer and meditate for 5 minutes, or use one of my guided meditations or another one you find on YouTube, and just sit down and go through a simple guided meditation. It doesn't have to require much time. and the benefits are incredible. Another very powerful thing, and one that's overlooked, is mindful consumption. We live in this crazy world where we have access to all sorts of information 24/7 and social media. It can be very overwhelming. So what you feed into your mind matters just as much as what you feed into your body. And people don't think about this enough. But really be cautious with what you consume. Now, I'm not saying to like bury your head in the sand and not be aware of things that are going on in the world. Like there are a lot of things that we maybe need to be aware of that aren't, that comfortable to think about. But the fact is, we can be aware of things that are going on, but not get consumed by them. So choose to consume uplifting, inspiring content, whether that's you like to read, so books or podcasts or videos on YouTube, whatever. But be careful about what you let into your psyche and what you consume. And ideally, like avoid media. And there's so much of this on social media now, but media that's just like draining or negative or violent, because you want to nourish your inner world with like more high vibrational messages. And there's just a lot of stuff out there that isn't really conducive to your well-being or certainly not your spiritual growth. So I would just add to really be mindful of what you consume in terms of media and content in the same way that you are of what you eat and what diet you're on. Another option is some kind of an evening, reflection or gratitude or meditation period. Close your day with some kind of moment where you just have time, even just a few minutes, to reflect on the events of the day. What went well, what didn't. Maybe you tie this into a journaling practice, like we mentioned before, but you could also do like a gratitude thing, and you could do the gratitude exercise beginning of the day or at the end of the day like this. But taking a few moments at the end of the day before you go to bed, just to sort of process the day and think about what went well, what didn't, what you're working on, and sort of tied into your goals. It can be a very powerful sort of method and technique to implement in your day. And my final tip is this: seek out and talk to people that really get it. Spiritual wellness also means connection and connecting with like-minded people. So don't isolate yourself. Share your thoughts, questions, or spiritual insights that you have with someone you trust, because having those kinds of like deep conversations reminds you that you're not alone. And spiritual growth is something that when you find the right community and the right people, it can really just supercharge your spiritual progress. And also, look wherever you live, in any city, I'm sure you're going to find a like-minded community. So look for, local experts, maybe who do like Reiki or meditation, or in some way are in the spiritual path. One thing that I've looked into more, there's a lot of like sound healing events near me, and I haven't been to one yet. And I was like, oh, that'd be something cool to try out. I mean, I do a lot of meditation, I do a lot of stuff on my own, but I guarantee wherever you live, there are going to be certain practitioners who have sort of like that spiritual outlook. And it could be, again, meditation, Reiki, sound healing, anything. But you're going to find people who are like-minded and who can support your growth just as you support theirs. So the good news is this: you don't need any kind of a complex routine to really take care of yourself spiritually. These small, consistent, daily options and habits that I mentioned, they help you reconnect with your higher self on a daily basis and, connect and plug into something much greater. So my advice to you would be just pick one of these and start it for a week. So maybe you start a morning gratitude practice, and every morning you sit down and you write down what you're grateful for. Or maybe you start meditating 5 minutes every night before you go to bed. Whatever it is, just start small and just pick one of these 7 that really resonated with you and start implementing it today. And let me know in the comments, what spiritual habit do you love? What are you really excited about? And maybe what do you feel to try next in your spiritual journey? I always love hearing from all of you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.